Power, baby. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Point Fighter Live. This is the Power Breaking Podcast. I'm here with Larry Fields, and we're gonna talk about breaking, right? A wonderful world of breaking. How you doing today, sir? Everything good?
Bang, bang, baby. I'm doing great. I'm ready to break, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You always bring it, and you're out there in Houston. No, not in Houston, in Abilene, right? Where?
Abilene, yes.
Abilene,
Abilene,
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, and I'm over
Yep.
here in Miami, Miami, Florida. Two amazing places to live, right? Good weather out here. Yes, for sure. And I hope everybody out there is doing great. And we're gonna talk about breaking right now and how much it's growing. And it's just amazing. I've fallen in love with the sport, honestly. And you've been doing it for so long, right? You've been doing it. For those of you that don't know Larry Fields, he's considered by many the greatest of all time in the breaking world by many. You know what I mean? So you've been doing this for how long? Since the '90s, right?
Yes, the early
Wow,
90s. I've
wow,
been breaking and training and trying to get better. And I would do breaking and fighting and self defense and weapons. Um, and one year my instructor said, "Hey, we're going to go win some world titles in Orlando, Florida. Get your plane ticket." And I said, "Okay, yes, sir." And I said, "What all we competing in?" And he goes, "You're just breaking." And I go, "What? What about fighting?" He goes, "No, I said just breaking." And I go, "Well, what about weapons?" He goes, "No, I said breaking." I was like, "Yes, sir." "And your daughter is only fighting." And I go, "Well, she's not going to do self defense." He goes, "Larry, I said she's only doing fighting." I'm like, "Okay." So we went and came back with 2 world titles. We
wow.
got, and everybody was like running around trying to get all their breaking stuff set up. And I walked up to the table and I said, "Yes, I need 14 bricks." And the lady goes, "You can only hit them one time, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yes, ma'am. I was only going to hit it one time." So I set up my 14 bricks and did my power elbow and blew through them. And it's funny because all the other breakers, they were back there backstage doing palm strikes and hammer fists and all different kinds of techniques like that. And then when they seen me do my elbow, everybody switched over to elbow, and it was messed up because I was like, "Man, you guys were back there doing your hand and you were looking good, and you switched over to elbow, and now pretty
Oh,
much elbow."
wow, man. Yeah, wow. That's crazy. And what year was that? Do you remember the exact year that one was?
Yes, that was 99, 2000, 99, 1999.
Wow, man. Let me tell you, and from there on, you kept going. You've been to every U.S. Open, right? Ever since.
I've been to every one since we took the break at COVID for sure.
Oh yeah,
And then I went through a bad divorce, and I didn't compete that year.
right.
But I was there, and I helped. I helped do everything. I helped everybody, and I judged a bunch. So that was kind of a different year. But when your heart's messed up, you just kind of got to take a step back and
Yeah,
focus on things.
yeah, man. Wow, and 50. I think you have 54 world titles
Yes,
altogether.
yes, sir.
Wow, man, that's amazing. And man, in the '90s, but you've competed. You competed also, like I think in the NBL too, right?
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh Dan
Wow.
and the firefighter team. I competed against them all the time. Uh, it was a different world back then because they
Yeah.
only did creative, so it
Well,
was just. That's why I like the power breaking so much more, and that's the reason why I have so many world titles.
yeah.
Because it's not judged. It is what you do. If you set up 15 bricks and you blow up 15, the next guy's got to break 16 for the win. Or I mean, if he sets up 16 and he only blows through 15, I still win because I had a better percentage. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
why I love breaking.
I'm falling in love with breaking too. I first saw breaking like in 2000. I'm gonna say, I've been covering events since 2013. And I saw breaking really good, like in person, in like 2020 or 2019 with Nick Zombri at the IMAF, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then I just posted him, and then then I made sure every time I saw breaking, I would get it, and then it's just started taking off, like really the exposure with breaking, and just a lot of views, and just people love it, like the with it. And then I started competing in it, like playing around with it and messing around with it, and like, and now I'm like taking it serious. I'm having so much fun with it, but what I love about it was what you said. And I've been a point fighter. I was a point fighting champion. I've coached teams, sponsored a bunch of teams in the sport karate world. What I love about it are two things. You can't you're not really being judged by outside people with forms. Like forms in fighting, there's an outside element to it, but really with breaking is you and the materials, and that's it. Whoever breaks the most wins, right? So I love that part. Also the leveling up part of it, and I'm bringing it into my school now. My kids are loving it, and it's helping me with everything. And part of it is because what you said, um a lot, it helps your whole overall martial arts training. I feel like my fighting, I'm competing at a tournament tomorrow, and I think I'm gonna do everything: forms, fighting, and breaking down here in an event. So, and I feel like the breaking has gotten me back to where it can help my fighting too. You know what I mean? So it's overall great. So I love it, man. I love it for
For
sure.
sure. Don't realize, it goes back to the old Japanese philosophy: one shot, one hit, one kill. You hit that person so hard, so fast, with all of your power, and they're done. They either their arm is broken or they're unconscious. And it goes back to that. And people say, "Oh, well, bricks and boards don't hit back." Yeah, but that is true.
Yeah,
But until you actually hit something as hard as you possibly can,
yeah.
you don't know if that technique really works or not. And that's what I teach my students, because I want them in a real fight situation when
Hmm.
it's their life on the line. I want them to be the one that walks away.
Yeah,
And been times and times and times again when my students have come back to me and said, "Thank you so much, Shihan, for teaching me. I got into this situation or that situation." And man, I'm so glad that you what I was trying to teach you. And the thing is,
yeah,
a lot of times you'll see people break or work on a technique, and when they're doing a kata, they're doing that kata and they're doing it the best they can, and you keep trying to correct little mistakes, little mistakes, little mistakes. Sometimes they don't listen to you, or their body just refuses to do it that way, and then you have
mhm,
to show them why you have to do it. That's the cool thing about breaking, because I can show them the right way of doing it, and they do it wrong, and then they go, "Oh, that didn't work." No, it didn't work because you didn't listen to me. There's a lot of times I'll see people break at tournaments and I want to help them, but they were successful with their break. And
yeah,
usually when they're successful with their break, I can't
yeah,
talk to them. They're not going to
yeah,
listen to me.
yeah,
But when they make a failure or they don't break as much as they want to, then I can step in and talk to them and tell them, "Hey, this is what you need to do. If you do it this way, it's better." And then I've seen that happen that way. And when they come back to me and they break again and they're successful, it's so cool. It makes me feel
so
so
cool.
good.
Yeah,
And people go, "Why do you train people?" Well, I train people to beat me. I want them to beat me. I want my students to beat me, because if they beat me, that's going to make me train harder. And I
man.
want them to
Yeah.
be the best martial artists they can possibly be. And that's what I look for. And I know you do too. I've
Man,
seen
that's
you.
exactly my mentality when I coach and with my students. I want them all to. I tell them I want them all to be better than me. That's my job. That's true. Because if they're not better, then I didn't do my job. That's kind of how my mentality was. And when I heard you say that, it's true. And let me tell you, it's not a lie. This man right here, he taught me. We did a seminar. I did a private class with him, and you know he he taught me the secrets, man. So it's like it's and I competed against them right after. So it's like I love it, man, and that's the camaraderie too about breakers as well. You're great, and everybody, and I feel like I've gotten tips from so many people, especially as I gotten more serious about it. People are like reaching out to me. Guys like Steve Fisher. Great breakers. Chris Brooks, of course, Nick Zombri, and, even Ralph Bergamo, Drew Serrano, guys like that giving me some tips. And like, I love it. And when you're at the tournament, everybody's there, helping each other out. They help clean up, they help set up, they help hold. It's like, it's a great community really to be a part of. And, also, people say boards don't hit back, right? That's like one of the biggest comments that there are, but it's like, it does hit back because it hurts. I mean, my arm hurts. It does hit back. And also, Bruce Lee, for those of you guys out there, Bruce Lee broke boards. He taught his son to break boards. It's just a movie script, but it's a funny movie script. I mean, it's a great one, but I always see that. I have to say that on this show to let everybody know. But yeah, another cool thing about breaking is like, a lot of my friends that are point fighters that they're seeing, they're like, um, I want to break, but I don't even know how to start. And I start telling them, the world of breaking. They get me once they ask me that, they get me going because breaking also has a lot of divisions. People, and when I tell them that, they don't even know. Like, how forms competitors compete in 7 forms divisions, and now fighters, they compete in point fighting, open weight, team fighting. There's sometimes mixed doubles. They got compete sometimes in 3 or 4 divisions, and it's the same thing with breaking. You could compete in a bunch of divisions, actually, right? There's power arm. You could break it with wood. You could break wood, concrete. There's power hand, foot stomp. You break concrete. You break wood. You could do side kick on wood. You could do it on concrete. There's a creative. There's no spacers divisions, right? There's so many divisions at the real. I'm talking about the real power breaking events that have, like, I guess the USBA and ISK at the US Open, but it's starting to spread in Houston and AOK. You guys have all those divisions too, a bunch of divisions too. So, and down here in Miami is starting to spread as well. We have the FBBA where you can compete in multiple divisions too, and I've been coordinating that. I'm coordinating tomorrow, so it should be good. At the SoFlo Battle of Champions in down here in Pembroke Pines. But yeah, that's one of the cool things I like about it is that you could, let's say you have a great technique that you're really confident about, you can compete in that division, right? You have a good sidekick, go ahead and test your skills out there, right? You have a strong punch, striking with your upper body, boom. And I really love it. There's something for everybody. But with
You
that,
were
yeah, go ahead.
you were saying earlier about competing against me, and
Uh-huh.
I had one of my students that been a student for me since he was like 12 years old, and
Yeah.
he'd been going to competition, good fighter.
Who's that?
Great.
Tate? Is it Tate?
No, Justin French. Justin
Oh,
French. I'll get to
Justin.
Tate. I'll get to Tate. But Justin
Yeah.
French. So he came back from college, and he won in high school. He won gymnastics. He was number one in the nation in the gymnastics in the overall, which is amazing. So he came back
Mhm.
in his summer, his first year as a freshman. He came back home to Texas and to Abilene, and he said, "Hey, I want to go to the U.S. Open." I was like, "Okay, cool," but we couldn't get him in any of the power divisions because it was already too late. So I got him in creative. He had to win his way up on stage. So he
Mhm.
won his way up on stage. He had a great routine, and he had to go first. He had to go first, which when you do katas, you don't want to go first. You want to go in the middle or
Yeah.
last.
It's the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was in it. I had won it the year before, so I was last. So he was first, and I beat him by 1/100th of a point. If he would have
Wow.
gone in the
Woo.
middle or closer to me, he would have
Yeah.
beat me. He,
Yeah.
he would, and I told him that. And he was like, "Man, I don't know if I would have beat you." I said, "No, Justin, you are the bomb. You would have beat me." So that was, it's a blessing to see your students do that. I had another guy. His
Yeah.
name's Eric James. Everybody calls him Winky. He's a big, huge, buff African American guy, tough as nails. He came in my dojo, had been training at another dojo, and he said they won't let me go and break. I want to go and break. I want to win a world title. And I said, all right, well, come on, let's do it. And at that time, they had a division called the Combat Board. Now, Eric James is probably about 6'4", 6'5", and no fat on this man, no fat at all. And he is buff. I mean, he
Like a
looks like
football
Hulk,
player, like a
really.
linebacker, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. So he trained with me. We trained together. We trained, did the exact same routine. Came down to the U.S. Open, and he went first. And I don't remember the number. I think he broke like 24 boards or 23 boards, something like that. and I came right behind him, and I broke the same number, and so it was a tie, and we had to go again. Well, we went,
Wow.
and he did really well. Like I said, I think he broke like 24, 23, something like that, and I came up short. He beat me. So that for me, being
Wow.
5 and him being that monster
Yeah.
size
Yeah.
was impressive to see somebody, one of your students, beat you. And I love it. I love it when one of my students beat me. It makes me train harder and work harder. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
love about you. You train so hard. You've taken the aspect of point fighting, the
Yeah.
way you get to be a great point fighter like you
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
into a great breaker. And I tell people this all the time. If they're a great fighter, I can
Yeah.
make them a greater breaker. You look at Regina Thompson, which
Yeah.
probably one of the best point fighters, female point fighters in the world, and Thump Thump, her training partner. They came to my dojo and they did a fighting seminar for me. Afterwards, I got them to break. And you talk about being some good breakers. That they amazed me because of the speed. You
Yeah.
know, good
Yeah.
point, not
Yeah.
afraid to use speed, and they understand how to use that speed to make them even better. So when I get a fighter like you, or somebody that can fight,
Yeah.
like we were talking about Tate Shelton,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
once they get that idea, okay, I can hit it as hard as I can, and nobody's going to stop me. That's what's so exciting, because then when they hit stuff, it explodes, it blows up.
It's so much fun, man. It's true. For me, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's like therapy. Actually, it's like it's hit another. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, there you go. It's hit another realm for me. It's like it's almost like therapy where it's helped me so much. I have suffered through depression, and I'm open about it. And I feel like just the training and everything for it. It's like it's been a long time, man, since I felt down. So and I think it contributes a lot to breaking. So and there's something about breaking and like when you do it, it feels so good. And then in breaking, it's okay to be like to go and for me, like that's the only place I could be that way, right? Other than if the only time I'm acting like that, like that, where I'm pumped up, would be as if I'm mad at someone, right? So it's in a way, I'm like, it's for me, it's amazing, and it feels good just to let the animalistic side of myself, and I used to do wrestling, performing and stuff like that, and when I used to fight, I would paint my face too. So it's like for me, it's just man, and I'm 47, and it's a great passion that I have now, and I feel like that one of the reasons why I'm training so hard is because I gotta catch up a little bit, right? Like but I'm fresh at the same time, so I think I could be really good at this. But I know that at my age too, so that's one of the reasons too why I'm training so hard as well. But man, one another thing that I love about you that came to me that influenced me a lot is your versatility, right? Where you're like do it all, right? In my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna do this, like, and that's it. And you're like, no, you gotta
I
do
remember that
everything.
conversation.
And
I was like, "No, Alex, you got to do all of it. You can't do all of it." And it when I see somebody
yes,
that has like anger issues or depression or something like that,
yeah,
and then I get them into breaking, it's a total reversal.
yeah,
They can go so much further with it
yeah.
because they let that out. They
Wow.
let that emotion
Yeah.
out, and
Yeah.
that's how I was trained. My first my
Wow.
first
So
fight.
you've seen that. So you've heard this before from other people.
Oh yes,
Wow.
oh yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's awesome.
It
Yeah.
it helps people with depression. It helps people who have anger issues, and people that have anxiety issues.
Yeah. I have
Man,
anxiety issues for
so
sure too. Yeah.
like how I got started breaking is my instructor. He said to me, I came up for one of my green belt tests, and my mom had called him and told him that the reason why I wanted to learn martial arts is because I was going to find my dad and I was going to beat him to death. I wanted to kill my father because I had a lot of
Wow.
anger because he left when I
Wow.
was 5 years old, and I had nowhere to put that anger.
Wow.
So my instructor found out from my mom why I was doing martial arts, and I came up for my green belt test, a high green belt test, and he at the end of the test he said, "Larry, why are you learning martial arts?" And I said, "Well, because I'm going to find my dad and I'm going to kill him with martial arts. I'm going to beat him to death." And he
How old
said,
are you then? How old
"What?"
are you? You were how old back then?
I was like 11 or 12. I was about to turn 12. And,
Wow.
and he
Wow.
said,
Wow.
"You know what? Get all your stuff and leave and don't come back." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" He goes, "I'm not training people to kill people. I'm training people to protect themselves. And you're taking this the wrong way. Go, get out of here." And I was crushed. I was crushed because I was at his house doing martial arts every day. Every day I was getting ready for football, but I loved karate. And I had taken some other karate lessons in Rhode Island, where my mom is from, and it just didn't match me. It didn't fit what I was doing. And one of my buddies said, "Hey, come down here and do this karate with us." And I was like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Just come down." And I came down and I fell in love with it. It was Japanese traditional martial arts. And I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, this is where I am." So I was at his house doing martial arts all the time. And he kind of took me under his wing. And when he found out why I was learning martial arts, he was done. So I kept
Wow.
training. I was training in my backyard by myself, doing everything he showed me over and over and over again. Well, one day at school, one of my buddies said, "Hey, why are you still working out?" And I go, "Well, I'm training hard. I'm getting ready." And he said, "For what?" And I said, "I got a couple people that I'm gonna take care of." Well, it got back to him. So he called me back down. And I thought I was coming back to the dojo and I had all my stuff. And I was all happy and I got there and he goes, "What did you bring your stuff for?" And I go, "Well, I'm coming back to karate." He goes, "No, you're not. I want you to understand something. You know the problems of a 12-year-old boy. You don't know the problems of a grown man. I'm not saying your dad was right for leaving, but what I am telling you is you only know half of the story. You only know your mother's side." And I was like, "Oh, that's right. I don't know the other
Wow.
story."
Wow.
He goes, "You need to get your head straight because you're on a bad path. Now go on and get out of here. I don't want nothing to do with you." So I went back home and I started asking my mom about my dad and made her furious. I mean, made her so mad. And she called him up and she called him everything but a white man. And she she let him know what she thought about him, because I was trying to find out about my dad. I wanted to know where he was. I wanted to ask him what
Yeah.
why he left me. Well,
Huh.
my instructor,
Wow.
he after that he sent word back to one of my buddies and said, "Hey, tell Larry to come back." And I really want to talk to him. And I was like, I didn't even want to go. I was heartbroken. So I went down there and he said, "Larry, I want you to know that your dad left, but he didn't leave you. He left the situation. Whatever his reason was, it doesn't matter. And I want you to come back and train with me." And my first class back was breaking. And he said, "Look, I'm going to teach you, but I have to teach you different because you have to learn to use your anger to help you, not hurt you." And that was my first class back. That was
Wow.
breaking. He got me on my knees. I was sitting in Okinawan position, and I went to hit these bricks. He had some bricks set up, and I was all excited. I went to hit it, and he grabbed my arm and said, "No, no, no, you do it like this." And he showed me the right way to put my hand and how to put it and how to hit. And my first class back, I broke, and I was like, I was hooked from then on. And he made it to where every single thing in life I did. If I had a problem, I was not strong enough. If I wasn't, whatever it was, I would use my anger to help me, not hurt me. So I would use it as a battery. Like when I go and teach breaking seminars, I teach people, you have some anger, let it out on the boards of the bricks.
Yeah.
Because when you hit it and you let it out, you feel good afterwards. Everybody applauds for you. Nobody's mad at you. If you punch a wall in the house and you go all the way through it or whatever, you have to repair it or you hurt yourself. With power breaking, I can let all that anger out and it feels good afterwards. My wife tells everybody
Man,
is after Larry breaks, he's the nicest guy in the world. He's already nice, but he's even nicer. So people need to get into breaking.
it's incredible. Man, it's incredible the psychology behind that too. Like, wow, that's and like even thinking, I didn't even put this together now, but like even Alexander Carlos, he's a special needs guy himself. That he teaches special needs people. It's like it's crazy, and he's been doing board breaking with them, like the Rebreakables, and he says that they all want to. They've improved so much, and the parents are happy. And like, man, it's like it's so much, And now we're talking about special needs people here, right? Like, wow, and it's like therapy even for them. So, man, it's amazing, really. I think that it's really amazing, and man, I love it. I really love it, and that was a great story there. Wow, I did not know that about you. Thanks for sharing that too. And wow, man, that's amazing. It's really that was pretty. I'm still thinking about it. Like, wow, man, that's pretty deep and strong stuff. That's amazing. But another thing that I like about your breaking it, like that you got me doing, is the versatility and just being able to do it all, right? And I think that
Well,
that's
martial
that for me is a great thing. Why then I question me, why do people just do one or two things, right? Like that they want to get strong. I guess they think I'm good at this, let me just focus on that, right? Because like let's say in sport karate, there's people that do forms, weapons, fighting. That's very rare, right? They're very versatile. They're either a fighter or they're a forms guy. But
right.
why not be in breaking have the versatility? Because I think it's awesome to have, right? It's just great to
Well,
do everything.
what my instructor used to say is, "Are you a saber-toothed tiger? You only work on one thing? You can't train that way. You have to train for all situations."
Yeah,
You know, it's not like you can pick a pair of nunchucks up and defend yourself with them in the street. But that same motion that you're learning with the nunchuck teaches you how to block a punch or take someone down by using their arm as their own weapon. You know,
yeah,
and people don't realize that being a versatile person means you can do breaking, you can do fighting, you can do forms, and to make yourself the best martial artist that you can be, that's what you have to do.
yeah.
I agree with you 100%. We don't want to be, and I tell myself that all the time. I don't want to be a saber tooth tiger. I want to
Yeah,
be able to.
that's a good way of putting
One of
it.
the
Yeah,
back in 2017, I won the Greek award, which is a big deal in Texas. The AOK Greek is like a big thing. You have to win. You have to go to all the tournaments. You have to do fighting and you have to do forms. And I went and I won. But the thing is, you have to be versatile. And
yeah,
these guys are one dimensional. That's
yeah,
great. They're good at one thing. That's awesome.
yeah,
But got to be more. And that's what I love about breaking, because you can do so many different things in
yeah,
breaking.
yeah, man. You really could, and kids and a big, kids are a big part of breaking too. Like a lot of, there's like they love it too, and they love the breaking, and it's just a great for it. Now, man, we have all the qualifiers are done, and man, it's been great breaking this year, and then now it's almost time for the U.S. Open, right? We're almost here, and that's it. People are getting their invites for ISK, and man, it's like it's a great time of the year just for all martial artists. Oh, looked like we lost them there for a second. Maybe there'll be a call, but yeah, the U.S. Open, guys, it's coming up in like a month, right? It's July 17 through 19, and it's gonna be great. And I qualified for the power arm. Um, so I'll be trying to go for that for the ISK, and then I'll be also competing in the creative in for the USBA. All right, because there's USBA nationals, right? World championships, and then there's like the ISK World Championships. So there's two. There's two, but for the ISK you have to be qualified to be in it. All right, from what I believe, that's how it is. But we'll get into all that once Larry comes back. Let me see what happened with his phone. He's not back yet. Let me see. Let's see if we can come back on. But yeah, it's been a great show so far. Hopefully we can wrap it up with the US Open talk. Let us know if you're gonna be at the US Open too, if you're planning on it. And let's see. If you can. All right, let's see. Let's see what happened. But yeah, man, the US Open is great. And I'm competing. Alexander Carlos will be there, my teammates, right? And Cuban Cowboy. So there'll be three people from Miami, new, fresh at the U.S. Open competing. And I think that there's Larry here. Yeah, here's Larry. He's back. Here we
Hey,
go.
so, yeah, I'm so excited about the U.S. Open.
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah,
I've been blessed. we had our ISK qualifier, and we have like 4 or 5 people that we've gotten points so that they can get to be on the ISK qualifier. It's amazing that it's going to be on ESPN Plus
Mm-hmm.
on Friday night, July 18th. I'm super pumped. I get to go last in creative braking because I won last year. Uh, I get to go pretty far in the. I'm qualified right now in the sidekick and concrete, upper body, and then in 3 directional. So it's going to
Nice.
be a good tournament.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
got
man.
some other tournaments coming up too,
Yeah.
but the ISK is like my party time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's time
man.
to go. I'm
Yeah,
so
man.
excited, training my butt off,
Uh,
um, working hard, trying to get ready. Matter of fact, Tuesday, I was hard for me to walk because I was so sore in my gluteus maximus area because I had done a really hard workout
hey,
and with kicks. So yeah, I'm trying real hard. I think probably, everybody knows me for creativity and power concrete elbow, but they don't know me so much for my power sidekick. They don't realize I've won several world titles with sidekick. Um, but it's been a while. I've had like it's been hard for me to come back since COVID. At COVID I got
yeah.
second in power concrete foot, and I was blessed after that, after having COVID, which I don't think everybody knows this, but I had COVID and it nearly
Yeah.
killed me. They took the top part of
Yeah.
my lung out.
Wow.
I was in ICU for
Wow.
uh, it was horrible, and I got out in October. Uh, and the U.S. Open was in July, and I didn't even know if I was going to be able to. They told me I was going to have to be in a nursing home for a few months. I
Woo.
told them I'm going home. I'm going home. And they said, well, you can. I went home with oxygen, with an oxygen tank and oxygen mask.
Wow.
I went to a few tournaments with oxygen,
Wow.
because it was hard
For
for me to breathe.
real?
Yeah.
Wow.
So in January, I started thinking about the U.S. Open more, and I started training. And it was hard. It was hard to even walk. When I first woke up, being in bed for 3 months, it was hard trying to walk, breathe, the whole thing. And I started training, trying to get ready for the U.S. Open. I wanted to go, kept training, and I went and I won the power concrete elbow. I got second in concrete foot, and I got first in 3 directional wood. And I didn't do so good in creative, but nobody knows this. But when I was doing my creative routine, there were huge, big black spots all in my eyes. I couldn't see. I couldn't see
Wow.
right. You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
there's one where I did a foot stomp, and I do foot stomps all the time, and I fell down, and I was like, "Crap, this isn't going very well."
Wow, man. So you still had the effects of it still. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
yeah,
Wow,
horrible.
man. Wow. That's a
So I won out of the 4 divisions. I won two, and they awarded me the ultimate breaker, but they messed up on the points, and they called me and said, "Hey, you didn't really win the ultimate breaker. We need to take the belt back." And I gave it back to them. I didn't want it if I didn't win it. But you and I both know if it had been our tournament, we would have given two winners away that year. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, man. Yeah, wow. Wow. Oh well, it's all right. You won some more belts since, and you're gonna win many more still, right? So I guess that's the positive side of it. But yeah, wow, wow. So you were stripped. You were stripped of the title. Yeah, wow, man. But what a great comeback story. That's amazing. That's great. Yeah, and this year, you know, I started getting serious about it, and like I'm happy that I'm able, I'm able to make it. For the power arm, I got invited for the power arm, so that was good. I broke 9 over there in Houston, and I won the division. I think there was like 4 or 5 people in the division, so that felt great. And it's crazy because that's the one I felt the least confident with, and that's the one I did the best with. Right, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do sidekick, and I got this great creative routine. I'm like, and I think my power arm is where I got in. So yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to it
Crazy,
getting in there at least. So with this,
crazy. Make it creative because your creative routine is really good. I
yeah,
really. And then when we were in Miami and you did your creative routine, I was like, man, he really needs. I really can't believe you didn't get the invitation.
it's okay.
But
I think that I'm new in this, and like I gotta pay my dues as well. So I'm not trying to skip the line, and I know that there's a lot of great breakers. So That's my attitude. My attitude with this is like next year I'm going to push to try to be invited for everything, and then I'll try to win a title. Let's see what happens this year. I mean, I didn't even expect this year really to have even a chance. So it's cool that I'm going to be on. It's an honor just to be even try to get in there. So I guess Thursday is when they have the how does it work? I'm new to this, so so if you got invited Thursday, you compete right to a chance to compete the next day on
Everybody,
TV. Is that how it
everybody,
works?
yes. So everybody that's not a returning champion has
Yeah.
to compete on Thursday, which is
Okay.
it's kind of new. They did this they did this once before when they had a lot of breakers, and that's the other thing. The field for breaking is really big now.
Yeah.
So on Thursday we'll all compete, which I get to compete in all three divisions on side kick or I'm sorry, kick and uh, 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 concrete, upper body, and then three directional.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a real fight to get in there because everybody wants to be on ESPN Plus, and that's going to be Friday night. That's going to be shouting all the way across, and people don't realize that the ESPN Plus is where NFL football is carried,
I
NBA basketball,
know.
and
I
and
know, man.
NHL soccer, NHL hockey is on there. So it's crazy that we're at that level finally again to be able to do that. Back
Man.
in the past, ESPN used to put our breaking up against the Super Bowl. So
Wow.
networks, what they do is they put their
For
strong
real?
show. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So they put their strongest show up against whatever the strongest show is there. And people were calling me and telling me they were watching the Super Bowl, going, "Hey, I just saw you break on ESPN too." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's cool. That's cool." So
Yeah.
it's amazing to be able to have this opportunity again to be able to be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, man. Man. You Glenn, I'm gonna train as soon as we're done. I need to get this. I want to get up there. Hey, so who gets up there? The top what five, four? Who gets up there
I'm
from
sure,
Thursday? Whoever. Let's say Thursday, huh?
I'm not really sure how they're,
Oh, you're not sure?
but I
Okay.
think you're probably
Yeah.
right. I think the top five and returning
Yeah.
champion, maybe the top
Yeah.
four. Whatever
Yeah.
it is, I'm
Yeah. I could be top four, and then
I'm glad
yeah,
you're
the
training
last one.
because
Um,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. And the bricks that they use at the U.S. Open are good bricks usually. Um, there's a
mhm.
lot of good competition coming out for this. I think they've got some guys from
Yeah.
overseas coming in for this event. Usually the U.S. Open has people from all over the world. You get people
Hmm.
from Jamaica, from all over South Africa, and then all over Europe. They've got.
I've seen Russians there. I've seen people from Australia. Man, I've seen people from like 35 countries every year at
Well,
least. So it's like
that's
yeah,
what I want to happen when we do our tournament in Vegas that you're going to help me with. That tournament in Vegas is
yes,
going to be badass. Everybody loves Vegas. Everybody loves Vegas, and everybody loves Orlando, Florida. You know, and that Vegas thing is going to be big, big, big. It's going to be
yes. If you think about it,
qualifier. It's going to be an ISK qualifier and
yes.
the USVA and Elite Breakers. The Elite Breakers are huge in Texas.
Wow,
That's my
wow.
station, and we have tournaments. We had so far, I believe this year we've had 15 tournaments in Texas. And we're blessed to have so many breaking tournaments in Texas.
What's the date on it in October? You guys have a date already, right? In
October
October
11th, I
um,
believe.
11. Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me,
that weekend, October 11. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, he's checking the dates. Yeah, and Vegas, man, it's like if you think about Vegas,
yeah, yeah, it's
um,
October 11th because that weekend,
yeah,
that's also Columbus Day. So a lot of people had that off. So that was the other reason because we want everybody to be able to come and break, have a good time, and then go do what people do in Vegas. You know, happens in
yeah.
Vegas, stays in Vegas, baby.
And think about this. Think about this too. Like UFC, the some of the biggest boxing fights ever have been in Vegas. Like, and if you think about like martial arts, the big Vegas, and so it makes sense to have a big breaking tournament in Vegas, right? And out there. So it's gonna be, and like you said, Vegas is Vegas. So I got married out there. I can't wait to go back. And yeah, so October 11th, it's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be this is just the beginning of it. You're gonna be hearing a lot of cool stuff that's coming out. It's
Well,
in the works.
what
Sponsors, all these things that are coming out. So if you're interested out there in being a sponsor in this too, it's gonna be a great event. Contact Larry or myself, and I'll get you to him. To if you want to be part of this, it's gonna be a great big show. So I'm looking forward to it
well
for
we are
sure. Yeah,
we
man.
are looking for sponsors. I would love to have Vegas have the most money. For my
Yeah.
goal is we need $15,000. I want $15,000 on the line. So it'd be $1,000 for each division, and then it would be $1,000 for the ultimate breaker, male and female, and then I want to do a team event, which you have to have a lightweight female, a lightweight male, heavyweight
Wow.
male, and a female. So it'll be a 3-person team. And I want to give that team $3,000. But we also want to give for second and third place money too. So I mean it's Vegas. We're needing sponsors. So
Yeah.
we're looking for some good sponsors. And so this is gonna
Yes.
be blown out all over the world.
I
Great.
love the team thing, man. That team thing is awesome. Well, you just said sounds amazing, and that's great. Team. You put team aspect into this breaking thing. Wow, that's like I've always loved team stuff. So wow, that's amazing. So look out for information with that, and it's gonna be huge, right? It's gonna be huge.
Well,
So make sure you guys look out for more info with
do
that.
you know
But
the
yeah, man.
last time they had a team breaking, it was Team Bergamo, which I was on Team Bergamo. It was Master Bergamo and Drew Serrano and myself. We were all on one team. And then the other team was Mike Reeves' team. I can't remember the name of their team, but I mean, we went head to head. And
Wow, that's awesome.
it was really cool. But that was a long time ago. Master Berg.
When was that? Yeah, how long ago was that?
I'd have to ask Master Bergamo. He's the one that had the belt.
Who won?
We did. Bergamo.
Who won? Oh, you did,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was fun. It was really
Wow.
fun, but it was it was tough because Mike Reeves' team was awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah. Mike Reeves has been around a long time. I think from the '90s too, right? He was in one of those first U.S. Opens as well, right?
For sure.
Yeah, man.
He's one of the legends of breaking.
Yeah,
Matt Bergamo and Drew Serrano, Clinton Murphy,
yeah.
Chip Townsend. Some of these names, they're legendary breakers, and to see, like last year, Master Bergamo competed again, and he's over 60 years old and he's still competing. You know,
Ye- Man, I think he's 70. Man, I think he's already 70. Yeah. I think he's over. I think he's 71 right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, because when I posted his videos, I asked him before, and hey, talking about that real quick. Before we're done with wrapping up the show, we have to talk about, which is something very epic. And let me see if I can get the picture here of it, and you could talk about it while it's epic, right? A seminar at the U.S. Open. You guys, Bergamo and Reeves, right, are doing a seminar, breaking seminar. So that's gonna be good. So tell us about that. When is that? That's on Thursday, right?
I'm not sure on the date yet. I think you're right. I think it is Thursday morning, the seminar. And Master Bergamo and Mike Reeves and myself are all doing a breaking seminar to try to get people ready and to
Yeah,
have fun and to understand, there's little keys, like when I go and do a breaking seminar, I try to teach them everything that I know from
yeah,
setting up boards, just like I did when I came to you. I taught
yeah,
you everything I know about how to set up the boards. I
yeah.
teach
You did. Yeah.
every technique that you want to do. I work with them, and it's like I customize my seminar to make them the best breaker they can be. I want them to walk out of there with confidence and knowing how to give themselves the best advantage to breaking. I've seen some really good breakers do silly things. Like
Hmm.
I seen this one kid, this was years ago. He had a long black belt and he was jumping up in the air and he jumped up in the air and his belt hit the stack and
Oh
threw it
yeah.
off. And he didn't break nearly as many as he could. if he would have took his belt and turned it around backwards or put it on his hip or something of that nature, and he would have done that same technique, he would have blew up way more boards. You know, I've
Look at
seen
that.
guys do bad breaks, and I'm like, man, I feel bad. I really feel bad because I'm like, man, I want to help you and teach you. You know, like at the tournament this weekend, we had a big tournament in Waxahachie, Texas, and we
Mhm.
had the breaking. We had 30 breakers there, and it was a
Wow.
good. And you know, some of those guys that are breaking, I seen them do stuff, and afterwards, you know, it's like I was telling you earlier, they won't listen to you if they're successful. But when they're not successful, then you can help them. And
Yeah.
one of the he's been breaking with me for probably about 5 or 6 years, ever since he was probably a yellow belt or orange belt. And man, he made big mistake, and I was like, "Hey, dude, come here. Let me talk to you about this." And I talked to him, and you know, he gets that information. So next time when he breaks, he's going to be even a better breaker.
Yeah, man, that's great. Yeah, and I got the actual flyer up right now, as you guys could see. You could actually register in the same place you register to compete, so it'll be there, right? And on Mad Action, and it's Thursday at from 9 a.m. to noon at the Coronado Springs Convention Center. So right there. So this is great for everybody. And let me tell you right now, just alone with Larry, I feel like I got 25% better in my breaking in one day in hours. So you're gonna get better. Little tricks, little things that only they know, right? So imagine with them, imagine what Reeves is gonna teach, and with Bergamo. So if this is a no brainer. Like you have to be there. I'm for sure gonna be there. So make sure you guys sign up for it because it's gonna be amazing. This is a great chance to learn for real from you got it right there. You know, and you don't have to go. It's right there in your comp. It's right before you compete. So you're just like, and it's gonna be good tips that's gonna help you right there. So this is a no brainer. If you're there, the only reason why you're not gonna be here, maybe, is if because you're flying in on Thursday or something, right? That's it. But if you're here Thursday and you're there at 9 a.m., you better be at that place because you're gonna be better. You're gonna get better for sure, man. This is awesome. And anybody that wants to do seminars out there too, Larry's great. Larry also has taught me not just for me, but he helped me build my breaking class actually because all the stuff that you did in the class with my students, I'm doing it now once a week, and that's the class that's always packed, you
Yep.
know. So you can learn not just for you, you learn for your students. If you're a school owner, you're gonna learn to spread the knowledge around because I mean breaking is amazing. It's really spreading out even more. So
Break
yeah, yeah,
breaking power. You know, when I go and do these seminars, I want the head instructors and their upper crest of their best guys, so that I can teach them how to teach their students to make them better breakers. And you
yeah,
know, for years there was a dojo in Fort Worth, um, Dewey Sutton, and I would go and do breaking seminars for him. I did breaking seminars for him for like 3 or 4 years straight. His guys gave my guys the toughest time in breaking, which was great because that made we had so many
yeah.
records
You see,
that
yeah,
year because we kept going back and forth. His guys would win, then my guys would win, and his guys would win, and then my guys would win. It was
wow,
so fun to see these young breakers, young people like, you know,
yeah.
yellow belts, orange belts, purple belts coming up, and you know, so what's kind of funny is you see some yellow belts, orange belts break more than some black belts. And you know, it's the problem with it is as sometimes as black belts, and I put myself in this category too. Sometimes we get too arrogant and we don't want them to be better than us, but
Yeah.
that's not helping them. If they're better than us, you know, that's what our goal is.
Hey, Chris Brooks just wrote Team Point Fighter Live versus Team Avalanche. Hey,
Yeah,
Avalanche is a great team. I mean, who's Team Point Fighter Live though? That's the thing. It depends who people are thinking about Team Point Fighter Live, but I think Avalanche is a great overall, well balanced team. Like they can have somebody in everything. You see, we need more of that as well. Also, I know Team Chip Martial Arts. They have they have a bunch of people that could do everything. And Bray Kwando, Nick has great. So it's good to see teams that have good
well,
squads. So
Well,
I'm building my team a little bit here with Cowboy and Carlos. But I would need a woman, right? A good team. I think also there's more women breakers coming out now, and I think we need to push that more, right? Get more women involved. I've been trying to get my wife and my daughter to break because they're strong. They're really strong, man. If I get them to break, I think I can make some champions. They'd be a champion before me, maybe. But yeah, the team thing is awesome.
yeah, and
That's a great idea, right? That's
what's really cool is if we get to do this deal in Vegas,
yeah,
we'll be able to give one team $3,000. If we can raise the money that we need for it, and it would be amazing to see that many female breakers come out. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, for sure. Hey, and Sammy Donovan, one of my favorite breakers up there. One of Kent's students, adaptive divisions too, right? I think that's something that could be added in every tournament. For sure,
For
man. Yeah,
every tournament could have a team breaking, and you just need like I said, a heavyweight male, a
yeah,
light male, and a female breaker. And what that's going to do is that's going to encourage more females to come out and break, because that money brings people out. They want to win the money. It's not just the money; it's the prestige
yeah.
of being
Prestige.
paid for what you do. And when you look at breaking is so expensive, and it's hard to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
But we see these up and coming breakers, and they're blowing it up. I,
they
I mean,
are.
you were talking about these other teams. They've got some depth, like
Yeah,
Nick Embry. He's got some depth. Team Chip,
yeah.
they've got depth
They got
where they
that. Yeah,
pull from down below them and get even better breakers. Chip Townsend's wife, she was a really good breaker. Their daughter, I believe her name is Lexi. She's
yeah,
a good breaker.
yeah,
My daughter Samantha, awesome breaker. She's one of the ones that did the crossover. She won world titles in fighting, and she won world titles in breaking.
yeah.
So
Look at that.
Mansfield's my daughter, but
Yeah.
there's some really Master Bergamo. He's got depth.
Yeah, Bergamo has a whole team up. Yeah, they have team. Yeah, so I know that Adam Grogan, he has at the U.S. Open, he has people, good people too there that from his school as well. So it's like
A
some
couple of
good teams out there.
girls, one of his girls one year won the creative
Yeah,
break. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
can't,
yeah,
but yeah, she's amazing. She's real
yeah.
tall.
Reposardas, right? The Reposardas, one of the
Yes, yes,
Reposardas. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
She's a real tall, slender girl. Her
yeah.
walking around, you wouldn't think she could break anything, and then she gets in the break, blowing stuff up. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're amazing.
Hey, somebody just asked me, Leandro Duarte. Actually, Amanda Duarte is his daughter. She's one of the top stars in the NASCAR World Tour, and she also wins. She's been winning now, even in the traditional leagues. He's like, oh man, get Amanda involved, and I'm like, yeah, man. And so a lot of times people ask me, some point fighters, they've been asking me, or they're like, what if I get hurt doing this, or like they just don't know how to start. So this is the final question for you, and like I guess the final topic we're gonna have before we wrap it up. Almost at the 1 hour mark. It's crazy. It's gone so quick. If somebody's watching, let's say that's a point fighter, directly specifically them, point fighters specifically, or forms competitors, sport karate, right? That are like, well, how would they start? Well, what would be the first thing that they should do, and then the second thing, just to get started on their
Well, I,
journey
I
with
tell
breaking?
people this all the time, and I told you this too. You've been training. These point fighters have been training since they were little kids.
Yeah,
They've already been doing the
yeah,
exact same thing for point fighting that you need to do for breaking. Any martial artist that does forms or does fighting, they're working on those set techniques are the same techniques that we use for breaking. They just need to be altered just a little bit. So their first step, they've already completed their first step. Their second step is to get somebody, an instructor or somebody, to modify the technique to either go straight down or do a creative routine with what they're already doing in a kata form.
yeah,
It's so easy. If they come see me or call me, give
yeah,
them my phone number, I'll do FaceTime with them. I'll help them become one of the best breakers in the world.
yeah, 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 man. That's it. So there it is. Hey, Phil Addison, great guy too. Southern Showdown. We were just at their event, and
Yeah.
he's asking where he found out. He heard about the team breaking. So, but I guess he came on later on. So yeah, so he's asking when and where. We're talking about Vegas in October 11. All right, Phil. So we'll get that. We'll be having more information on that coming out soon. But you see, it's gonna get a lot of buzz. You see, the team stuff is amazing. Like we just named at first, we just started out with a few teams, but then we thought about more teams after we started thinking about it more. There's actually like at least 5 or 6 teams probably that could have enough people already right now. So
Well,
plus
I,
you could
I,
form teams as well.
I'm looking at just off the top of my head. I'm thinking like 10. There's like 10 because like
Yeah,
team
yeah.
like Team Bergamo, they could do three. They could do 2 or 3 teams by themselves. Yeah, do
Hmm,
2 or 3
hmm.
teams easy. You know, um, you know, there's so many other dojos. Nick Zambri, he's got some good breakers there. He can form a couple.
Yeah, man, he really
And then
does.
Mike Reeves, he always comes up with people. I don't know where he gets them from,
Yeah,
but he gets people, and he would be able to fill another team. I know
yeah,
I
man,
could
for
probably come
sure.
up with 2 teams, maybe 3.
Yeah, man, for sure. No, it's gonna be amazing, man. Man, we're gonna be doing this like every 2 weeks or once a month, and we'll get some guests on. We're gonna be doing this is the podcast we're gonna be doing on a regular basis now, and amongst other podcasts too that I'm planning on doing. I haven't been doing much stuff online as far as shows, but I'm gonna be doing a lot more coming up soon. So and this is great to do this with you, man. This has been awesome. It was great. We had a great show. I got me pumped up. I'm literally about to go train. My rest the whole day is done for me. I don't teach today, so I'm gonna just train. So uh, he got out. Let's see if he could come back before we say go. If not, it's okay. I'm gonna give him a minute to try to come back uh, to say goodbye, a proper goodbye. Yeah, yeah, man. The next year Southern Showdown, that's good, man. You're building something great. You guys are with a breaking point, and Scott, you guys are doing, and Caleb, you guys are doing a great job. It was an amazing event last year, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's see if Larry can just come back to say goodbye. All right, so yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to U.S. Open, and another thing on top of the training, like point fighters or forms competitors. I would say get some rebreakable boards first, and just start hitting it. Start out with the hammer fist. Start out with like forearm break, all right, and pretty much that's it. Start off like that, and if you start feeling sore, just put a pad over it. Oh yeah, hey, yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, yeah, you're back. I was
Okay,
waiting for
so
you so we say a proper goodbye.
well,
Yeah,
next time you got to wear your makeup, you got to wear your paint, so we can
I
match.
know, man. It's a funny story. I'm gonna tell everybody what happened. So, I was gonna paint my face, and I'm looking for my makeup for like an hour and a half, and I can't find it. And I'm blaming it on my wife and my daughter. So
Feeling
I'm gonna have to
makeup.
buy makeup. I'm gonna have to buy makeup and
Yeah,
hide it now.
that's what you got.
I just hide it
So
up.
you don't know this, but I was at the dojo and you texted me, "Hey, wear your cowboy hat and your bandana," and I was like, "Oh crud, it's at the house." So I jumped in the truck, drove to the house real quick, and came back real quick. And I was like, "Oh crud, I hope I can get on," because it was a little iffy getting on because I'm not real good with computer stuff.
Yeah, and then I told you I don't have my face paint. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
damn it.
and
So there's this guy. You know,
man,
you know
yeah,
how I feel about computers, right? I'm good with them.
uh-huh.
But there was a guy during the Y2K thing that had some laptops set up and he was breaking the laptops. I love that. I absolutely love that. I want to put that in my breaking routine just for fun. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
man, you see, we're gonna talk all about these things, craziest breaks you've ever seen. There's so much to talk to about breaking for sure, and bring on the guests and everything. I hope everybody else enjoyed it out there. Thanks to all the people that watched, and a lot of people have been watching. So thanks for that, and we'll be back soon. All right, with the Power Breaking podcast with Larry and Alex. All right, take care. Us power, baby, and
Bang bang, baby.
ooh, we'll see you soon. Yes, sir. Time to train. Let's get it.
Let's
Hey,
go
work
get it.
hard. Never give up. Believe in yourself. Always be positive. Woo. Let's go.
Woo.